naloxone at the shelters. The reason for this is because we know that a lot of people that have a history or current drug users reside at the shelters. And a lot of times, there's naloxone there that is not being used, and our community members are dying due to unnecessary death caused by opiate overdoses. We have a few different community-based organizations that are here that are going to speak on the issue and why it's important for us to be able to have naloxone and for the shelter staff to be able to administer naloxone to the participants if they do overdose. The first speaker that we'll be bringing up will be Giselle from the Coalition of the Homelessness, the leading organization representing the interests of people experiencing homelessness in our city.
I want to thank Councilmember Richie Torres for putting forward this bill. It's so important. We know that the opioid epidemic has not spared any community, and we fully support putting life-saving interventions like naloxone into shelters, but we think it's even more important to get residents trained. So who's going to save a life? It could be staff, but more often than not, a fellow resident is going to find somebody who's ODing. So we want to make sure that other residents are trained so that this life-saving intervention can be used properly and save as many lives as possible. So we want to thank Richie Torres for this, and we fully support this legislation.
The second speaker we'll bring is Julia Diwa from Boom Health. Boom are strong allies in this fight from the Bronx.
So I'd like to read a story one of our participants and peers shared with us who couldn't be here today but wanted to share his experience in the shelter. So this is from Miguel. One day when I went inside the shelter, the security searched me and found my Narcan kit. I started to explain what it was and the case manager heard me. She asked if one day I could explain the kit and how people could get trained and get one. But after that, I didn't see her anymore. A couple of weeks later, a guy started to have an overdose. A few guys called the staff members. As soon as they saw him, they took everyone out of the area, and I ran to get my overdose kit. I got the kit and tried to go through the guy, but they wouldn't let me. I talked to one of the staff members and explained that I know that this is an overdose. I have my kit and I'm authorized to use it. They wouldn't let me use it and said they called the ambulance, and when it arrived, they would help them. I explained that you can help while an ambulance was coming, and the longer you wait, the more dangerous the overdose can be, but they were only yelling for people to get away. They closed off the area and left the guy in the chair. They didn't put him in rescue position. He could have fallen out of the chair. It was very dangerous. After a few days, I saw the guy again, but the ambulance took a really long time. This guy was lucky. It took a long time for him to come back. If I'd been able to use my kit, he could have woken up sooner. If shelter staff are aware of the signs of overdose and trained to use naloxone, they can save lives. That guy was lucky, but I've seen guys get taken away that I haven't ever seen again. I've seen guys get taken away in the ambulance that look really bad, and when they don't come back, I don't think they made it. They could save a lot of lives if everyone knew about Narcan. So this experience is shared by a lot of our participants, and at Boom Health we fully support this to not only train shelter staff, but allow them to understand what Narcan is and allow the people that have this life-saving tool to use it. So thank you, Richie Torres, and please, let's pass this bill.
Again, it is extremely important for myself. I have witnessed and been involved in reversing over 26 overdoses. These are people that could have been our mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers. These are all family members, you know. And we're not speaking about drug use enough, and speaking about drug use, we're also speaking about naloxone. There was a time when we received a phone call at the office where we had to run to the park and administer naloxone. When we got there, the person was blue, his fingertips were gray. He was in a place where nobody would have found him. We had naloxone. The person, we administered naloxone, and the person was able to walk out of the park and alive 3 minutes later. If somebody dies due to opiate overdose, there is no recovery from that. And naloxone can give the person a second chance to recover if it is what they want. I'm going to bring our next speaker now, Stevie, who was a powerful story that sadly led to the death that was 100% preventable in one of our shelters.
I was in my shelter in Brooklyn getting ready to start my day. I stepped into the bathroom to see one of the residents laid out on the floor. He was collapsed and unconscious with a needle sticking out of his head. I immediately went to my room to get my naloxone safe and effective and works by blocking opioid receptors so a person can regain the ability to breathe. I earned my Naloxone kit a few months early by attending an in-depth training at a community health organization. I took the training serious and never went anywhere without my kit. I have lost too many friends to overdose and wanted to be prepared if I ever encountered someone who needed help. By the time I returned to the bathroom, a guard was there preventing me from getting to the man who was overdosed. I told him I was going to get Naloxone, but he wouldn't let me get by. I was trying to explain to him that minutes can be seconds, but it was running one ear and out the other. He contacted his manager via walkie-talkie, and I heard the voice reply, "No, don't let him do it. We don't know what he has in there." The guard walked me out of the bathroom, and I felt useless. I repeated to him, "Seconds count," but he wouldn't let me pass. About 7 minutes later, a nurse showed up. In her hand was a Naloxone kit, but it was too late. The man had already died. Recent data from New York City shows that overdose death among homeless New Yorkers is on the rise, making it all the more vital that every person working in a shelter is trained and educated on how to use Naloxone. Earlier this year, Councilmember Torres introduced city legislation to mandate regular training for the Department of Homeless Services, DHS outreach workers, and shelter staff. I support the legislation and hope that it passes soon. However, my story is about more than access to Naloxone. It's about the stigma that homeless people face on an everyday basis. In our homes, we are treated like second-class citizens, people assumed to be untrustworthy or incapable of providing help. We need to change the culture within homeless shelter instead of assuming the worst. Why won't shelter staff help residents develop protocols on how to respond to an overdose as a community? Clearly, when I witnessed this overdose, I was the most educated and good person on the scene. If we're training shelter staff, why can't shelter residents be seen as first responders too? I still get a pang of guilt thinking about that day. What if I took the kid with me as I was getting out of bed? What if I pushed past the guard to squirt at least one shot up his nose? I'm sharing my story because I don't want his death to be in vain. I want things to change. I want to make sure that no one dies of an overdose again. I may be homeless, but I'm ready and willing to save a life. If only I were allowed to. Now, for over 2 weeks, I was silent about this. It really took a toll on my brain. And finally, I talked to this very courageous girl, Adriana, and she told me that I gotta tell my story. So, that's what I did.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Stevie. opportunity for sharing your story. And just to touch on a little bit of what Stevie just said, Stevie had naloxone on him and he wasn't allowed to use it at the shelter. As a result, a human being died, a person died, and there was naloxone on site.
That ain't right.
That is not right. That's something that should not be happening in any of our shelters, in any of our city locations. There was naloxone available there, and the person was not allowed to administer, even though they were trained in how to administer naloxone. That cannot happen in our city. That's a shame. Now we're gonna bring our fourth speaker from our very own Boca, New York, Richie, who can speak on what he has seen inside the shelters using naloxone. Come on, Richie.
How you doing? My name is Ricardo Garcia. My name is Ricardo Garcia. I actually live at a shelter, and I've come across an overdose and having first-hand experience in overdose. In reversing an overdose. I know a person only has seconds, so I know it would be very important if staff, security, as well as residents be trained and equipped with the naloxone. And thank you very much.
Ricardo, just say your name one more time.
Ricardo Garcia.
So we're going to open it up to see if anybody has any questions or any comments.
What's the timeline on this bill? Is it going to be,
So the public hearings right now, the bill just got introduced a few statements ago, and so we're gonna see. And I think one of the things about this legislation that's really important is that you might hear, hey, we already train our shelter staff. We don't need legislation to get this done. But by the accounts that we heard today from the first-hand stories of people who actually live in homeless shelters, that training is not getting to the people that need it most. People are still dying of overdose. People are still getting their naloxone thrown away when they're checking into their shelters. And that's why we need legislation, which requires reporting and mandates training for all shelter staff. So that's why this legislation is so important, and we're going to be supporting it here today.
Give me your name, please.
My name is Elisa Aguilera with Vocal New York. Let's go testify. Let's testify.
Yeah.